Hey guys, so today I'm gonna give you some tips on how to make a sweet crossguard, something that's strong, that's durable. What I like to do is I like to go into my scrap pile where I have all my tips. Recycling, big thing that you should be considering. Obviously, if you're making your own swords and you have no old swords that needed to be retipped, then you're gonna go with a new piece, but same principles here. Okay, so usually what I do first is I'll take a piece that I like and I'm gonna cut it straight down the center. Boom, you got it in half. Pop a hole in here so that we can slide the sword through. So we're gonna need to find the center mark, all right? So a tip for finding the center, right? Really easy way to do this is by just taking your knife like this. It doesn't really matter the length, you know, somewhere that can get you close to the center. And, you know, you're also looking at the center this way as well as this way. And you just poke yourself a little mark there. And then you do the same thing over here. And what this will actually do, now that you know there's a mark here and a mark here, and that this mark to the end is the same distance as this mark to the end because you use the knife and the same length, right? So that's your center. Now you just slice that guy. Open. And you know that's gonna give you a pretty good center. And then from that I like to do like this little bit of a cross. It helps to get the sword in there. Alright. The next thing we have to do is pretty simple. You just shove this in here, like so. Alright. I usually like to just tuck these guys in here so they're nice and out of the way. And then, you know, take a quick look at it, see how centered it is. You might need to scooch it one way or the other, but to me that looks pretty close. Okay guys, talking about strength, right? There's going to be some weak points with this crossguard, right? So when a sword is hitting this, it's going to want to flip up like this, right? And also potentially it could be pushed down this way, right? So you're going to want to support that so it's solid and doesn't have any kind of movement. To do that, you're going to need some tape. Now, you can get away with using just normal duct tape, but you're going to need a lot more of it to make it as strong as you'd like. I like to use Gorilla tape. This stuff is more expensive. You get less of it in a roll, but it is much stronger. The first strip that I put on here is usually, you know, a bit longer, and I rip this in half like this. Boom. And then I'm going to bind it across here. So in the center and pretty close to the shaft of the stick. Focus. See how close it is here? And then you just kind of pull it, and you don't want to pull it too tight, but you want to get it snug. Again, the second one, right, because I just, you know, ripped the piece in half. The center. And you don't want to pull it too tight, like I said. You want it snug though. And you know, the tighter you pull it, the more these are gonna go down like this, right? The looser you have it, the more straight it's gonna be. Alright? So that's the first bind. Now this is holding this from slipping up, but it doesn't give it much strength to resist a good smack this way, right? So at this point I usually decide how I'm gonna shape my crossguard before I start really getting it on there solidly. You can use some normal duct tape to help shape it, and you know, taking a piece, ripping it in half, and you see the shape of this right now is like really wide, and you could keep it like that, but I kind of like pinching it in like this. And when you pinch something in and then you tape it, you can really get the form that you're looking for. Alright, so right now I just kind of made that into almost like a moon shape there, as opposed to having like this big moon shape I don't know. So I'll do the same thing here, and you're gonna look at this and see I pinched that one too tight so it doesn't match the other one. So I'm just gonna readjust that and get it so it's a little bit closer to the other one's shape. And to me, that's looking pretty good. Alright, here I'm just going to be ripping chunks that are, you know, not too long, not too short, and then ripping them in half. And then I'm going to be connecting them. And it kind of depends. Like if you have a cross guard that's like going to be way out here, you're going to need longer pieces. But for the length that I have, these are alright. So you want to put them over the end here and then bring them in kind of nice and tight to the form of what you're working with. You don't want to be pulling it way up, or you know, don't strain it. And now this, you can already feel the strength added with just one strip, but usually I like to fill up this whole space with strips so that it just has enough strength to last for a good while. And we'll push it in here. Remember, just, you know, let the tape follow the form. Don't try and boss the tape around. It's going to give you a lot of strength. So I do that for both sides. And then to finish up on the back side here, the duct tape isn't giving it very much security. So you can take another piece of Gorilla Tape and just put this over the back side here, and it'll strengthen up this whole section, and it'll be nice and tough. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the other side. Now that we got this nicely secured on here, we can talk about putting some color. For this one, I'm going to use red because I'm making a red and a blue team so that we can do capture the flag and other team-based games in the future very soon. The way I like to go about this is I cover the most awkward parts first, and then I cover the nicer parts to cover second. I'll go and I'll cover the tips of the cross guard. So I just put it right over the tip there, and then fold the edges over, get it to stick down as best you can so that, you know, you fold all those edges down so you have something that looks like this. The next section that I am going to do is this top section here. So I rip a chunk here for this top section, and then the same thing over here for this top section. And then we're going to go down here for this section and get a chunk kind of a bit longer to cover from here to there. And then I'm just going to get a piece that will cover this whole section here. And you know, you guys feel free to just go all crazy with these, make different colors, make different patterns. You can do all sorts of stuff with like crosses, or you know, different shapes, squares and triangles, and you know, different, you know, patterns like bumblebee stuff or whatever, right? Just make it your own, alright? So this is what I got so far. It's just a red cross hilt. Alright, so we just finished the color. The last kind of step here is to bind these together to give it a little bit extra strength. Alright, so for this stage you could probably get away with using just normal duct tape. Alright, last piece of the puzzle, alright boys? So I just get that on there. That is not going anywhere. So I hope that helps you with constructing a cross hilt that has a lot of strength to it. Yeah, please like, subscribe, get involved if you have any questions. Please ask me if you have any requests. Please ask me. So yeah, thanks again. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.